Hello and welcome. How are you, my friends? It's so awesome to be here with you. I've been excited for this gathering for the last 2 weeks, ever since I announced that I'm going to do it, and then I decided on the title for it and the subject matter that I want to handle today. I got super stoked about the possibilities and the opportunities that we're having here together, playing together, figuring things out, and hopefully walking away with some very doable strategies, with some ideas that are useful to you, and things that you can easily implement into your life. Okay? Right on, right on. Please make sure that you're active, that you are commenting, and that you're liking, because you are entering the drawing for a free coaching session with me. We can do it over a live stream, we can do it over Skype, or we're FaceTiming, whatever works for you, and we're going to figure it out, okay? So I'm super stoked because we have our first winner from last time, and I'm going to announce the name right now. I had my very lucky fairy, Julie, who helped me find the winner. I have my very high-tech strategy of number up, down, left, right, and it's my high-tech strategy to find the winners for our drawings. And this time it is May King Russell. May, you won, and guess what? May lives in Canap, so that's a mega coincidence that she tuned in, and it's totally awesome that you're interested in law of attraction and want to learn more about it. So congratulations to you, May, and I'm going to be in touch with you. And because we live in the same town, we can even meet for coffee or tea and have our session in person. So make sure, everybody, that you do enter, because of course you can enter from anywhere in the world, and we can make it happen that we gather and have our session together. Okay, so everybody, you know about that, and I'm definitely going to reiterate that throughout our time together. And welcome, welcome, everybody. I hope I can see who is saying hi, who is already checking in. Hello, Anne. And we have Diane, we have Tina, Denise, right on, you guys. Thank you so much for checking in and for already saying hi. And yes, you have the chance again to win. And of course, we're also personal friends, and I get to see you here and there. So that's always a lovely, lovely opportunity to connect. You guys, our circle is growing. I'm so stoked how the law of attraction is getting a lot more traction in the world now. We've had people all the way down to Asia, people in Africa, people in Europe, of course, in the US, and our neighboring countries in South America as well. Super, super excited for everybody who's tuning in. I'm very grateful for the connection that we have through those different platforms that I can be part of, and that we are connecting in some way with each other. So yes, this is what it's all about, and I can feel that vibration right now, that net that we all have together, that web that we're all creating together. So, you guys got some water? Cool. I got myself some bubble water this evening. I'm very excited. It's my special treat when I make my own bubble water at home. And whatever makes you feel good. So make yourself comfortable, because we have an hour together, and this hour is going to be very, very powerful. It's also going to be very useful to you, I hope. And it's a subject matter that is a little bit scary. It's a little wishy-washy for sure. It's also very much treading on a very thin line here, because relationships is where the law of attraction really shows itself. And there's always that notion of, well, we can't control other people, and therefore, what choice do we have with the law of attraction when it comes to other people? When it comes to the people that we are surrounded by, and I can wish for them as much as I want to, but they're not going to do it. Or if they are doing behaviors that bug me, I can wish as much as I want for it to stop. They're not going to change. So how do you deal with that? What can the law of attraction help us to perhaps shift our perception a little bit and think a little differently about those kind of subject matters, okay? And again, I went way high tech, and I thought about it as I was preparing myself for this evening. Imagine a Rubik's Cube. It's like a jungle gym. The whole idea, it's a three-dimensional cube that gives you different dimensions of thinking. And so there's the one dimension that is the spectrum between, these are the people that you love very, very much, that you have a lot of compassion for. People can't make any mistakes. People you always protect. People are always like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They, they're doing the best they can. Everything is okay. You're extremely naturally compassionate towards them. You truly, dearly, unconditionally love those people. All the way on the other side of the spectrum, people you simply can't stand. Just hearing their name, seeing their face, whatever it is that reminds you of them, you're like, ugh. And yeah, those people exist in all of our lives. So there is that spectrum, and somehow those 8 billion people that we are almost on this planet are falling within that spectrum. There are people that you're neutral about, that are people that you are super, very positive about, and then there are also people that you're negative about, okay? Simply a fact. So now let's go into the second dimension of our Rubik's Cube, which now is people that are very, very close to you and have a high effect on you and their choices in life, and people that you're not very close to and truly don't have an effect on you. So think about that dimension now. There is that spectrum as well. So now we're going from, these are people in my life right now, very, very close to me. And yes, their actions are actually affecting me, and their way of being, their way of thinking, their belief systems, their attitudes, and they're directly affecting me. And I have to deal with it. All the way out to the other side of the spectrum where there is zero relation, there is nothing that could bother you about that person, where you're like, I don't care because they are so far away in my consciousness that they don't affect me. Their opinion doesn't affect me, their lifestyle doesn't affect me, their beliefs don't affect me. It's okay, whatever. And then there's the other one that I find, of course, the most interesting in the realm of the law of attraction, which is the emotional scale. So now imagine how we go, as Abraham talks about, as well as other researchers, and then you have also people in the more metaphysical realm. And so there's a lot of models, and yet there is an alignment between all of them, that there is an actual measure of an emotional expression that we have in our body that can then be quantified and be told as a, we can now tell that you have a different vibration when you are in a state of anger versus in a state of love. When you're in a state of fear versus in a state of trust. Someone who is in a state of despair and hopelessness vibrates very differently, has a very different hormonal household, has a different way of being in this world. Their attitudes are different, their beliefs are different, their thoughts are different, their feelings are different, their behaviors are different than a person who is in bliss. Absolutely measurable, those two different emotional states. And then, of course, we know about the long-term effects. Now we are actually learning about the true symptom and the condition of a broken heart. That is now an acknowledged medical condition. And it has a definition. And there are symptoms associated with it. That's incredible. That we now can actually say that because of an emotional response to a very tragic event in our lives. So that's just one example. So when you think about it, I'm bringing it back to the Rubik's Cube, that we're having all these emotional states. And now you have people in your life who are all fitting on some part in this gestalt, in this matrix. Think about it. Think of some key people in your life right now, who of course then are a lot closer to you. They are also probably on the side of the people that you love. And they have a high effect on you with their behaviors, their thoughts, their feelings, the results that they create in their lives. And these people are somewhere on the emotional scale. So when you have someone in your life and you love them very much, and they are, for some reason, on the emotional scale of hopelessness and despair, they don't trust, they feel abandoned, they have a lot of anger or hate in them. Whatever those lower vibrations are, those emotional lower vibrations. And then you are dealing with that because that person is part of your life. They happen to be in your sphere. Perhaps they are your child. Perhaps they are your parent, your sibling, a super close friend, a co-worker who is super close to you, and you really care about them. Perhaps it's someone in your life that you also, again, very much cherish, and they're very influential to you, And they're very high up on the emotional scale. And they are one of those people who is extremely trusting. They are blissful. They are passionate. They enjoy life. They exhibit gratitude. So think about how differently you are with those two people. And we all have people on both parts of that scale in our life. We all have people who are uplifting, who are positive. We think of them, we feel great. Oh, can't wait to see them, right? Of course, you have those people. And then there are also people that kind of create the opposite reaction. You feel guilty the second you see their name on the phone because, like, ugh, I haven't talked to them forever. You have that stone dropping in your stomach when you see that they have left a message for you or that there is a letter from them. And it doesn't just have to be people. I just thought about it. It can be organizations as well. That's where the bills come in. And that's one of those things that the law of attraction loves to talk about, is this idea of having a positive attitude, for example, towards the bills that come to us. Or those letters from certain people that you know have certain requests or demands. How about people who self-sabotage? How about the people that you love so dearly and they are simply sabotaging themselves right in front of your eyes? You're seeing the detriment of the negative actions, thoughts, and feelings that they are exhibiting, the self-sabotaging behaviors, ultimately the habits that they have created, and you're just seeing them running against the wall. You're seeing them going down the dark road, going, if they keep doing that, it just can't end well. And your heart just goes out in compassion, and it's so painful to see them do it. And there are other scenarios as well. You see people hurt themselves in some way, shape, or another, because you know that for some reason they are trapped in a more negative vibration than is healthy for them. Let's say it like that. That's a pretty general description. And then again, there is that difference between people who are on the periphery of your concept, where it's simply, yeah, it's someone who lives in the same city, but we don't really have a relationship. I don't really, have to worry about what they think about me. Or someone who is perhaps in the same company, but you don't really work with them. Or a distant family member you only see once a year. You can manage that. But if that's someone you have to deal with on a daily basis, or someone that you're worrying about daily, wow, that can create a lot of stress. And so it's about ultimately, how can I use the law of attraction in this scenario? In this very specific area in my life, where I would like to have the best experience possible, the most positive, the highest consciousness experience possible with these people in my life. Especially when it comes to your closest family members, when it comes to your closest work associates, the people that you spend the most time with. And especially if those people are super negative, or they have a lot of hardship, or they simply have the kind of implanted beliefs or attitudes that keep them in a low vibration. And we all do it. We all do it. Everybody carries their little package. We all have those beliefs that we somehow grew up with, that somehow were in our history because of our ancestors, perhaps because of our culture, perhaps because of our social programming, that we're all carrying around. And it's a lifelong journey to work on that. And there is also that idea of transformation and change, of a conscious decision of saying, I do want to work on myself, and I do want to take certain patterns and transform them, transmute them into something else, something better, something that is more useful to me and society. And so when you are the kind of person who is already on that journey, then hey, give you 10 right now and big thumbs up, wonderful. And we cannot judge the people who are simply on their chapter or their level of their journey, wherever that's it. And that journey might include a conscious decision. Yes, I want to learn this stuff. Yes, I want to enhance myself. Yes, I want to transform myself. I'm always constantly working on myself. I'm constantly bettering myself. I'm constantly getting to know myself better. until the person has that wish themselves, there's nothing that we can do. We can only inspire, we can't force. And that's how ultimately we can create change in others. Ultimately. And that's, of course, the high road and the long term journey where it is by us modeling it, by us doing it over and over and over again. How do you get a kid to say please and thank you? You do it yourself. You keep doing it. You keep reminding. You keep practicing it, and you keep being patient and kind until one day it becomes a normal behavior. And that's how we do it also with the law of attraction or with positive beliefs. If I want to go from the world is a hard place and I don't know what to do and I'm really afraid of the future, to I ultimately come from a place of deep trust and knowing the power of the laws of the universe, and by adhering to them, I can have a certain guidance that gives me peace in my mind. And those two different attitudes create a completely different physiology. It creates different breathing patterns. It creates different hormones going through my body. It creates all kinds of different positive effects that I now get to experience because I choose to think the thoughts of hopefulness, of trust, of happiness, of gratitude, proactivity, passion, mission, purpose. And just hearing those words, I can feel that. I can literally physically feel it going, yeah, that feels great. And that gives me a completely different platform to work from with my next thought, with my next feeling, with my next action, versus when I'm doing something else. The only reason I'm sitting here with you guys right now is because I made a conscious decision to say, what can I do? What is my little tiny facet, that little tiny slice that I can put into this amazing pie of our whole existence that somehow contributes to the goodness, that somehow downloads some positive vibe into that collective consciousness? And that happens to come in form of a live stream. I actually thought about our gatherings back then in Salt Lake City. I was in Salt Lake 2 weeks ago visiting clients, and it was so much fun driving through Sugar House by the library with the beautiful pyramid. Remember that? When we met down there, that was a huge room. It was wonderful. And the very, very first meeting, I believe it was in 2005 or so, I had a few people in there. We had big, huge, wonderful recliner chairs in there. It was a wonderful library. And we just put them together into a little circle. And that was my very first seminar. And then it grew into this amazing event that took place monthly. And now here we are, what is it, 15, 17 years later. This is now our version of being able to connect, you know? And that is so meaningful, and knowing that you're there. So let me scroll and see who are some of our people. So we have a couple more people. Hello, Tom. And Carmen is here, and Melania. Hello, you guys. I know there are more people checking in. Thank you so, so very much for being here, you guys. Totally appreciate you. And make sure that you are commenting when you are joining us. They don't show me how many people are here online right now, but I was super happy when I saw how many people did watch the last video. And if you have not been able to actually see the recording from, what was it, May 17th, right? Then make sure that you look on my wall. It's just a couple of posts down. I also did post it in a couple of the groups that I'm running. For example, did you guys know that we actually have a law of attraction group? Yes, we do, called the Quantum NLP Law of Attraction Club. So I would love to see you there. And then, of course, I also have our NLP group for all of our alumni and people who are very specifically interested in the NLP applications of what I'm doing here. So I'm bringing it back to what we were talking about. It is about the people that you get to respond to in a certain way. So I'm going to give you a couple of important ideas that I would like for you to consider as we're moving through our topic for tonight. So I made myself a couple of notes because I want to make sure that there's a couple of things I'm definitely hitting on, okay? So one of the things that I talked very much about last time is the idea that all the results that you're currently celebrating or complaining about in your life are the result of your feelings, your thoughts, and your actions. What's going on in your head? What are the pictures you're making? What are the things you're saying to yourself? What are the feelings you're having in your body? What are you doing kinesthetically? How are you breathing? What is your physiology like? Those are important items, you guys. Anybody who follows some neuroscience or psychologist knows the importance of smiling, for example, the importance of physiology, putting our shoulders back more versus having our shoulders rolled down and our head down, immediately creates a different physiological response in our body in the way that we feel. And when we know that, then we can do things. We can mold ourselves in a way to feel a certain way that is more useful to us. When you are in a place that you know that high confidence is very important, high courage is really important because you have an interview or you have some kind of an important meeting that you're leading, and you're being really ambivalent about it, you're being really anxious about it, simply by molding your physiology, you can influence your state and you will feel more confident, more comfortable. You will be more articulate, more humorous, and so on and so on. Okay? So there is stuff that you can do in your mind by simply shaping your thoughts. You're saying things to yourself, it's all going to work out perfectly. Everybody who's going to show up is going to have a great time. Everything that is meant to be said will be said. Everybody is going to have a platform to share themselves, and so on and so on and so on. So that's what you can do in your thoughts. The pictures that you're making, you're simply imagining, like what I said earlier with this web, you're imagining the vibe of the communication that you're experiencing. You're seeing the laughing faces, you're seeing the smiling faces. You are seeing energetic connection between all of us, those kind of things. And then what you're doing with your body, like I already said, that smile, the physiology, the deep breathing, those are all things that you can really influence, and it will make a difference. So having that power of the thinking and then the feeling, you simply say, okay, what emotion is going to serve me better than the emotion that I'm having right now? If I'm really frustrated right now and I'm really angry about some situation, something I saw on the news, something that happened in my vicinity, something that gets me upset. Number one in my life is always take a deep breath. Take a physical step back, shake it off, do something physical. This is stuff I taught myself with NLP, that I can influence my emotion in that very moment of getting really angry or getting really upset or getting really hopeless, whatever it is, in that moment when really bad stuff happens, okay? It's about just gather myself. Whew. And then depending on what it is, of course, I go to the positive intent because I've trained myself for over 25 years to do that. And that's the idea that there is a deep down positive purpose. In the end effect, goodness is the core. Love is the core of beingness. And then it spreads into the duality. And at the core, in the oneness, it is love. It is goodness. And when I can go to that place very quickly by asking myself, gosh, what's the positive intent of that happening? Which, of course, is a lot easier when it's something that's personal. You know, someone criticized me or was weird in some way. But I'm like, gee, I wonder what the positive intent of their behavior is. I wonder what my positive intent is for attracting this. Universe, what do you want me to learn by having this experience? It's a little different, and I have to ask myself deeper questions when I'm hearing about atrocities that are happening in the world, that things that are happening to animals, the war, that things that are happening to people in the world in different areas. So that's the kind of stuff that's like, okay. Oh my goodness, how do we deal with that? What could be the positive intent for humanity that we collectively are attracting this right now? Still, the same question works. So that's how you can deal with your feeling, okay? And out of those two, our actions come. When you come from a positive feeling and a positive mindset, you will have more positive actions than when you're in a negative mindset and you have negative feelings, okay? So that is something that I take so seriously. And you guys, that is some next level stuff for everybody who has been dabbling in the law of attraction and is still asking the big questions. Why is this happening to me? Why is this taking so long? Why am I not getting what I want? And so on and so on and so on. And trust me, I've played those games too long enough. And there are still areas in my life where I'm like, I've known this stuff for quite some time. Why am I still doing this to myself? Amazing. And you know what? Sometimes the answer is just a week around the corner. Sometimes it's a month. Sometimes it's a year. And there might be a few things I probably have to get a few years older. before I'm finally emotionally and energetically ready to finally handle the answer and take it. And that's okay, because I think that's what life is, that we're constantly learning and growing, and there's always something else that we can look forward to achieving and figuring out and learning. So that's a little soapbox here on the side. Our thoughts, our feelings, our actions create our results, okay? So now let's take that very, very important presupposition into our relationships. Everybody in your life, from the close to the far, from the love, love, love to the, oh, don't like him so much, on all the levels of the emotional scale, all those beautiful people who are showing up in your life, they all have a purpose for how they're showing up for you, in the way they're showing up for you. Everybody has a specific purpose for how they show up for us. Really take that in. Really allow yourself to marinate in that thought for a moment. That everybody who shows up for you, from the people who you cherish to the people you don't, from the people who are super close to you and affect you directly to the people who don't, and all the way from the high up emotional scale of love, bliss, and happiness, and nirvana, and gratitude, and passion, trust, peace, freedom, happiness, all the way down to despair, hopelessness, anger, hate, fear. And that to me is the Zen part of it all. That simple acceptance of it is what it is, and I trust that it's all happening for a purpose. All of these people are my teachers. Every single person showing up perfectly in the way I need them to show up. So those are the deep spiritual thoughts. That's the kind of stuff that you can learn. That's the kind of stuff that you do by daily practice, by using affirmations, every possibility that you have, every chance that you have an opportunity to do a reframe when someone acts in a weird way, or you're observing self-harm in some way, any kind of interaction where you go, oh, that in that very moment you can go, I know this person is my teacher. I know this person is my teacher. There is a reason that this person is in my life in this way. Okay, now, of course, here is the mega disclaimer. If for any reason you are in any kind of harm, in any way, shape, or form, physically, mentally, emotionally, if there's any chance that you could be in harm's way because of another person, please take care of yourself, and please talk to people who can help you directly and give you the support that you need, and also the kind of organizations that can help you, okay? Now, I make that very clear that you're not going to use the law of attraction to change people who could physically harm you, okay? I make that very, very, very clear. Any kind of behavior that these people are doing, that you love, that you know are in your life, and they're doing it that somehow harms them, that sabotages them, that limits them in some way, you know exactly what belief they're running, you know exactly what program it is that they're doing. So this is a very good example, because you're simply seeing people, you're observing others as they hurt themselves, which then of course influences you, because you're the one who lays awake at night and you worry where they're at and those kind of things. So I'm coming up with some scenarios when it is your child and you don't know what they're doing, what they're up to, how successful they're going to be. When you think about your partner, when you think about a loved one who might be dealing with a disease and they have a diagnosis that's very detrimental, or when you simply think of the future of your loved ones and you look at world experiences, world situations right now, going, where's this going to go? And what are the opportunities? What's the future going to be in 20, 30, 50, 80 years? Where's the world going to be? Where's our climate going to be? Our society? Wow. And that's when it comes ultimately to self-management. The scenario that I gave you a moment ago, where you take that thought from, oh no, I'm so fearful about everything, to like, I'm choosing to be hopeful. I'm choosing to believe in the law. I'm choosing to be part of this positive movement and how different that lives in us, and then what different actions we are able to do. Imagine being able to do this for other people. Imagine being able to do this in your own response to whatever is going on in the people around you. And that's where your power is at. That is where you have the choice. That's where you, I'm going to use the word, actually have control. Because you have control. I have the control right now to say, I'm going to say positive words about this person or to this person versus choosing to say negative words. I'm choosing to support this person positively and hold them in their highest power, in their most wonderful self, in their highest self possible. And I know that they can do it. And then see how that lives in you differently. I can feel it, how that lives in me completely differently than if I think the detrimental, hopeless thoughts. So what you can do is ultimately craft your own response. No matter what goes on around you, whatever happens around you, however the people who are around you and their behavior is affecting you, you can right now choose to have certain responses that you're programming, just like you're programming yourself when you go to the gym and you work out certain muscle groups, just like when you're doing things that are training your mind, or you're learning the words to a song, or you're learning a different language. Those are all trainings. These are trainings of muscles. And we can do the same thing in our response when it comes to those hard moments in our life, when we feel our heart going out to other people. What you can control, what you are in charge of, is your own state. So I would like for you to think right now of a couple of people in your life, perhaps on a personal or professional level, that affect you negatively, that you have a tough time staying in a positive space. They might hurt your feelings, they might hurt their own feelings, they might just be victims, they might be the people who are always playing the blame game, the ones that are always irritated, the ones that always criticize. We all have family members like that, we all have friends like that, neighbors, people in our community, people at work, okay? Organizations that you're part of. I would like for you to simply now step into that space of honoring those people's positive intent. You hear me talk about that a lot, and especially those of you who have been with me for a long time. The positive intent is one of the key principles of the law of attraction, and especially NLP. Like I said earlier, that positive core in the oneness, that oneness is love, oneness is pure energy, potential, possibility. It's divine. That's what divinity is. It's that absolutely beautiful, completely unconditional love that is at the core of everything. And when you can look at life and circumstances and people and events from that point of view, it's completely freeing. Whew, takes all the judgment out of it, takes all the fear out of it. I'm feeling it right now. Whew, it's just overflowing right now from my heart chakra. I feel it, and it actually comes from my belly all the way up. That's just so amazing. I was in Shanghai at the time when the attacks happened in Paris, where bombs had exploded in several places, in cafes and restaurants. Remember that a while back? And I was actually, the morning that I found out about it, having coffee with a Zen master and conversing with him. He spoke great English. I asked him, as a Zen master, how do you process something like that just happened? Because I'm going through all these different kinds of emotions, from rage to sorrow for the families and the victims, and all this hodgepodge of emotions and helplessness and all that. What can we do? And he said, I don't have any reaction to it. I am the observer. And I'm like, how can you do that? And he said, I don't understand the bigger picture. And that immediately took me to this macro level of being able to look at Earth from space, this beautiful little organism, that planet flying around in space, and seeing it from that perspective. So you guys, that's the best I can currently scratch on the surface of what I'm trying, I know I'm using that word, to explain here when it comes to explaining wonders. Because, of course, I'm trying to explain the unexplainable because it is so incredibly magnificent. And it is the unexplainable thing that we've been, trying to attain through religion and philosophy so for thousands of years. So it's the big quest, right? And when you really, really, really come from that place and you are in that divinity and you are feeling that oneness with everything, then compassion is just such a natural side effect of it. Compassion is the nature of it. It is about purely being in that moment of love, of understanding and non-judgment, going, I get it. I get it. I understand. It's not that we're condoning it. It's not that I would do it myself. There is just a level of, I get it. I understand you. I see you. I see you. And you guys, when you can have that in that moment, when a person is acting out, no matter if it's a small child or an elderly that you're dealing with, we are dealing with the people who, as they're aging, having certain detriments that they're dealing with, and I'm dealing with it in my own family, and there are the things that we're dealing with in our workplace, because we constantly have to figure out, workplaces are solution finding machines when you really think about it. So there's constantly stuff to be figured out and conflict to be resolved and stuff. So when you put yourself in that mindset of like, we are all connected, we are all one, and everybody has a positive intent for what they're doing. Everybody's just trying to do their very, very, very best. Wow. When you can come from that mindset in the moment that things are getting tough, trust me, it changes things. I just got really hot doing all of that because, yeah, it gives me so much energy when I can put myself in that space. And the faster I can do it in those moments when those, things come up right in front of you, like, seriously, that just happened? Oh, how did I get myself into that situation? Everything was supposed to be so nice. We were planning the birthday party. Everything was to be cool. Now we're having this big fight. Oh, here we are. We planned on this vacation forever. And here we are the day before fighting. Right? Don't we all have situations like that where we're like, seriously, why would I attract this? Why would I create this? I know I'm getting so emotional about it because it's so real, you guys. And that's the stuff I want to talk about because that's the stuff we need to figure out. Right now is the time when we really need to figure this out in our own lives that we can spread more of that positive vibe, so that we can download positive solutions into the collective consciousness so that everybody of those almost 8 billion people on this planet can profit and benefit from that. That is our social responsibility, knowing what we're knowing. When I know that my thoughts, feelings, and actions create my reality, and that therefore I can truly have some kind of influence on how I feel right now, this very moment, and how I'm going to act with that, then I feel it's my social responsibility to do it to my best knowledge and to my best ability so that I can deliver the highest results in energy manifestation, happiness, love. I know that every little walk I take with my beautiful granddaughters, that every sweet interaction I have with them, that every interaction I have with my kids and my in-law kids and my siblings and my parents and my cousins and my friends is a positive manifestation that then has that ripple effect. And we know that. Science absolutely proves that. And everybody's doing it. Everybody who has a happy moment sends that ripple into the collectiveness. And everybody who has a sad moment does the same. Everybody who has an anger moment does the same. A hate moment, a judgment moment. Yeah, it's the same. And we can't judge people for what they're doing because everybody is doing the best they can. Give yourself that mindset. They are all doing the best they can. This is the best they know how to do it. Wow. It takes a little practice to get to that point that you can consciously have that available all the time, okay? I'm not going to pretend it's going to be the easiest thing in the world that you immediately, bam, waking up tomorrow. You know what? And why not? If you're that kind of person, I totally give that to you. Then you do it. And then please go and teach others how to do it. And for most of us, it's going to take a little longer. We're going to catch ourselves being judgmental again, or going into the fear place, or being that little chided child, or feeling castrated, or feeling that we're being the worst person in the world because of what this other person just said. Now nobody loves me anymore. Whatever your deal is, my friend, wherever you're going, okay? Because we all have our little drama scripts. Oh, when someone criticizes me, these are my responses. This is what I go to. Physical response, emotional response. Yeah, those are the kind of things I say to myself, right? I should write a book like that. Oh my God, that is such a great idea. Totally should do it. My little drama book. That's how I'm going to call it. So it's already done. It's already downloaded. Okay, you got it. You can read it right now. So just imagine it. That would be really a fun product, actually. So we all have that little drama book. Those learned responses that we naturally go to. You are in charge of changing that. So I'm going to take you on a little journey here. Of course, you already know what we're going to do because we are going to work on our state, especially those of you who've known me for a very long time. We're doing it through guided visualizations. We're doing it through actual exercises where you can also use your whole body. I want you to be as conscious about as you want to, or simply lean back and simply just listen to the words. I definitely encourage you to do it again. Watch the recording of this live stream today. When you have the time, watch it a couple of times forward to this point when I'm starting the exercise, and give it to yourself again and again and again, because it's teaching your neurology new ways of thinking. It's going to give you resources that you formerly didn't have access to, as you will after we're doing this together. So we have another 15 minutes of doing the exercises. Is perfect. Let's do it right now together, okay? So welcome everybody who's here. I welcome all of you guys who have checked in the meantime. Thank you so much. I also see Cecilia and Judge. Thank you guys for checking in, for letting us know that you're here. Everybody who is watching live right now, I don't know how many people are actually on the feed right now, and I will be able to see how many people check in later. And I know there's always a lot more people than people who actually make comments. So please make sure that you let us know that you're here, or at least hit the like button and let me know that you're here. And with that, you are actually going to enter our drawing. And the winner of last time's drawing is May King Russell from Canab. So we're actually going to have a chance to meet in person and have our session in person. So you have the opportunity also to win a session with me where we are going to do some quantum NLP together, and I'm going to help you to achieve one of your goals on the mental level. These are the things I can do mentally. This is how I can influence my emotions to move towards my goal. So that's my promise to you, and that's what we're going to do right now. So make yourself comfortable. Drink some water. And I take you back to what I said earlier. How would you like to respond when someone is acting out in your vicinity? You're observing someone harming someone else, or harming themselves, or harming you in some way, shape, or form through their behavior, their words, their unresourcefulness. And what is the response that you would like to have in that moment? Remember what I shared with you about the oneness, being in that place of oneness and divinity, having access to source. All the resources are there. You are fully associated with love, with light. You're one with everything. There's no judgment. And you can be in that place in that moment. And I would love for you to think of times in your life when you had that, when it was very easy for you to step into that. Perhaps it was a moment ago when I painted that picture for us, or it is right now as I'm talking about, and you're simply pretending it. How does it work for you right now to be in that oneness? And then think of times in your life when you were deeply in that state. Oh, guess what? Guess who's showing up as I'm doing that? It's my little Whittle. I think someone really wants to say hi. Oh, you guys are just not giving up, huh? Oma created all these berries for you guys because Oma is in the live stream. So you get to say hi real quick. Check it out. Well, you come in here. You got to say hi to my friends. You got to say hi to my friends because they want to see you. Check it out. It's Oma with friends. Oh, that's my little Clover. And she is, that's me. That's me, Oma with Clover.
That's my backpack.
And she's got her backpack. Guess what? It's a dinosaur backpack. Oh my God, it's so cool.
My tummy.
And there's your tummy. That's right. How can I not be happy having those little guys running around, right? Hey, do you want to say hi? Do you want to say hi to Oma's friends? There are a lot of sweet people there, man. There are a lot of very sweet people there right now. Come on, give us a wave. You want to say hi? All right, let's send. It's your hands. Mwah. Let's send lots of love to our friends. You're gonna send lots of love? No, you're gonna send big tongue. Everybody, big tongue. Nah. See ya. Okay, let's go back to mommy. And Oma's gonna finish her live stream, okay? Well, talk about oneness, huh? Those little gibbles want to say hi. Hey, you guys, I see you in 20 minutes, okay? I'm saying hi to my friends. I'm saying hi to my friends right now. Oh my God. Hey, timing is everything, right? And I'm talking about people. Isn't that cool? Yay! A part of me knew it. I heard little feet dabbling earlier. I'm like, oh yeah, of course they're going to show up. So there's this little Clover for everybody who was there 2 years ago when that beautiful little princess, that little angel joined the Turner clan. Yeah. And now she's my little talking, my little friend. And it's just amazing being a grandma. I love it. All right, you guys. Let's bring it back to our exercise and being in that beautiful oneness, bringing that childlike energy, that beautiful innocence, that happiness from the kids. And that's what they're feeling. And look at that laugh. You know, it's right there, that smile. And give that to the people around you right now. Give that to yourself when you are with those people. And enjoy your presence. Enjoy that connection with the oneness. Feel that oneness in your heart. Allow yourself to breathe deeply and just be at peace. It is what it is. I don't understand the big picture. I don't know what I don't know. Whatever the mantras are that you can say to yourself that help you to be in a place of peace, in a place of compassion. You can say things like, compassion is the most powerful thing I can do here. Compassion is the most powerful resource I can give this person right now. I just hold space. I am the observer. So those are all very powerful affirmations and mantras that you can say to yourself in that moment, okay? Then I would like to invite you to think of a spiritual guide. Who would be a guide that you would like to bring in right now? It can be a person who actually lives on this planet, is an author, is an inspiring author like a Wayne Dyer, a Deepak Chopra, a Marianne Williams, someone who inspires you, whose work you love. Louise L. Hayes. Come on, I know we have a big Louise L. Hayes fan club here. So many wonderful people. Abraham, hello. Come on, let's bring in Abraham. Let's bring in Esther Hicks. Let's bring in Jerry Hicks. And just imagine that you have a council of people, that you have guides, that you have spirit guides. It can also be Jesus, it can be Mary, it can be Buddha, it can be Mohammed, it can be an angel that you have a special connection to. It can be an animal friend who is important to you. Carmen, I saw your post about Wu. Blessed be, my heart goes out to you because, yeah, they are our spirit guides, my beautiful Play-Doh. Ah, blessed be those beautiful animals that have shared our journey and giving us love and companionship. So bring in those people right now. Bring in those spirits right now. Surround yourself with that energy right now and support. Feel that support. Feel their love. Feel their compassion. Feel their teachings. Feel the profoundness, the depth of their teachings. And just surround yourself with that love and energy and support, and then give that to that person. Give that to yourself in that situation. Just imagine being in the movie, watching it, that you are interacting with this other person, and then both of you get surrounded by this kind of love, by this kind of support, this kind of companionship. So beautiful. And then you can be in that place, and then you can exude that energy to the other person, okay? So you think of times in your own life when you had it. You are thinking of the connections that you have. You think of people that inspire you, who can give you that feeling, who can give you that state that you want to be in when you are in that situation that you need those extra resources, okay? Those are two very, very powerful ways that you can instantly get yourself into a better place, that you can instantly raise your vibration and be in a space that allows you to be very, very resourceful. you need to ask yourself, what is the response that I want? What are my buttons? First of all, let's start with the buttons. What are my hot buttons? How do people get me? What are the things that make me blush? It make me immediately go into my headspace of crazy monkey mind. Ah, everybody hates me. Life is lost. It's never gonna work out. Blah, 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 blah. And the spiral just goes down. What are those moments that get you? To me, public embarrassment. And of course, we know that. Toastmaster talks about that. That actually most people fear public embarrassment more than death. How crazy is that, right? Yeah, I get it. So I have my share of that. So let's just go with it. Public embarrassment, just being ridiculed in public. Could be now on Facebook, cyber mobbing, that kind of stuff, just like publicly looking dumb, publicly looking unreliable, publicly looking disloyal, that kind of stuff. Oh, totally gets me, especially when it comes to disloyal. That I am being perceived as not caring and disloyal. Oh my God, it's like being daggered right here in my heart. So, what response would I like to have in those moments when I think about that wonderful oneness that I can step into? And then when I think about that wonderful, wonderful support system that I can have by simply trusting those spirit guides, those other souls, those other energies that I can connect with, that I'm entangled with. They're right there with me in the oneness. Of course, I can tap into Oprah and Louise L. Hay and all those wonderful people who can encourage me and say, Christiane, it's going to be okay. You're going to live, you're going to survive it, and everything is going to be okay. And it's going to be okay. There has to be a positive reason for it happening. And somehow it's a gift. You don't see it yet, but somehow it's going to work out for you. Trust me, And then I say stuff like that to myself. And it feels better right in that moment. Let's take another example. What are some of the things that you guys are dealing with that are some of those anchors? Would you type those in, please, right now? Give me a couple of ideas. Let's say someone accuses you. Ooh, how about that? You guys, imagine someone accusing you of something and you didn't do it, or you didn't say it, and you didn't think it, whatever it is. They think this of me? Oh my God, it's so horrible. So again, what response do you want? I'm in the oneness. I have my support. I know they have a positive intent for saying what they're saying. I know they have a positive intent for believing what they're believing. I have a positive intent for attracting the situation to my life. Why would I attract this to myself? Gosh darn it, I wonder. I wonder what my lesson here is. I wonder what the universe wants me to learn by creating that circumstance for me right now. Wow, must be deep. Imagine being able to think that in that moment. I know the other person has a positive intent for acting the way they do. I know they are doing the best they can with accusing me the way they are right now, and so on. So let's see, what ideas did you guys come up with? Accusations, right on. I know, we all deal with that, right? Yeah, absolutely. So let's come up with some other ones. So we have criticism, we have accusations, or simply betrayal or abandonment. Let's go with abandonment. You don't matter, I don't care about you, I don't see you, that kind of stuff. Again, when that happens, it's like, I feel deflated. I'm like, oh man, especially when I'm investing a lot into this relationship. And then, so again, how do I want to feel in that moment? I want to feel the oneness. I want to feel the interconnection with everything. I want to feel the entanglement. I want to feel the divinity. I want to feel that beautiful, beautiful core of love and isness. Everything just is, and it is good. And then I'm feeling at one with everything. And then I can ask myself peacefully, I wonder what the lesson is in this. Where do I still feel abandoned internally that I would now attract that externally? See, those thoughts to me are thoughts that give me solace. Those are thoughts to me that give me peace, that take me further, they give me motion. Then I can do something. Okay, that's what it means. I'm perhaps overstepping my boundaries with that person, or perhaps I'm not sharing enough and I'm assuming that they're reading my mind. Those kind of things. So I get really good insights. I get really good answers of like, gosh, I wonder why I created that. I wonder why that happened. All right. So I hope you're getting some really wonderful ideas about what you can do. And I gave you very specific action steps that you can really practice in that moment of the thing happening, that situation that creates a negative vibration. And it is about you in that very moment managing yourself. The first thing I learned in NLP was we cannot change other people. They can only change when they want to change themselves. What we can do is inspire them through our own integrity, our own thoughts, feelings, and actions, the way that we conduct ourselves. When I'm constantly doing something that is important to me and that is something of value to me, and I'm cherishing it and I'm really passionate about it, there is a good chance that other people around me will over time get inspired by it. And the best example is my husband Sean right now, who is doing the thing with his diet, things that he has chosen, and specific spiritual practices that he's chosen, and practices that we have chosen as a couple. And it's awesome how I'm seeing the effects on the rest of the family and the circle of friends and now neighborhood, where it's simply becoming natural to do certain behaviors that perhaps we hadn't thought of months or years ago. And that's extremely inspiring. So ultimately, yes, we do change other people through consistent implementation of behaviors in our own life, and not with the intent to change others, only with the intent to enjoy it ourselves and making the most out of it for ourselves. And then, if it happens to have the side effect of changing others, then hey, kudos to you and kudos to them. Wonderful. Then obviously you did it right. Then you truly inspired them because they saw something in you that attracted them and said, you know what? I'm going to give that a chance. I'm going to give that a shot. I see what it does for you, and it looks congruent and integrous enough to me that I'm going to give it a shot myself. Isn't that cool? And that's ultimately what you want. You want your integrity to sell it, if you want to use that language. It is you doing it for yourself, doing it congruently because you know what it does for you, the effects that it has for you. And that's truly where your control and your being in charge of lies. The choice that you make for yourself. And then over time, you will see the results, especially with the people who are really, really close to you. You really, really love them a lot. And it is deep in your heart that you want to see them on a higher level, of course. So as we're wrapping things up, my friends, make sure, comment and like. So you enter the drawing. You have 2 weeks. I'm going to post this video on a couple of channels so that those of you who haven't had a chance to be there live can watch the recording. I'm looking very much forward to connecting with you. I'm looking forward to seeing your comments and likes. Those of you who are able to be here tonight, thank you guys. Big hug. Big, 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 big hug. Hugs, love, and kisses. So appreciate you being here with me. I feel your energy. It's just like we're back in that basement room in the Sugar House Library, having our seminars there. And dear family members, dear friends, dear neighbors, everybody who's here today, and yes, all the way across the globe where you guys are checking in from. So appreciate you for being here. And yes, I'm going to look at your comments. I'm going to just double check. Did I have any other comment here in regards to what area you want to play with? Because I'm definitely going to go for that. Someone called me a complainer. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. When people call us names, right? Okay, so let's do that. Come on, here's your bonus one. Here's our encore. When someone calls us a complainer or any kind of judgment, okay? So, gosh darn, I wonder why I attracted that. What is the universe's gift right now for me to hear that? What does the universe want me to hear? What does the universe want me to know by bringing this to my awareness? That's the most powerful way that I can give you right now to interact with that part, okay? And then again, step into that oneness, step into that moment of entanglement, honor the other person, thank them for being the conduit, for being the catalyst from the universe. That's another thing I forgot to mention. So thank you, Melanie, for making me aware of that, you can be grateful to the other person. Just like I said earlier, you're my teacher, you are my conduit, you're my catalyst. Thank you for bringing this to my awareness. I must have it within myself to exhibit it on the outside, right? And so when you can think that you have so much more power, you have so much more resourcefulness and actual things that you can do, okay? So please take that with you, my dear friends. And then next time when we are going to see each other, which is going to be the 14th of June. So again, 2 Tuesdays from now, we are going to gather again, and I'm going to cook up a fun topic. I'm going to just feel into it where we're with today and what is going to be the next logical subject area for us to explore. And I'm also going to build in a 25-minute Q&A segment because I know you have burning questions. I know there are things on your heart. I will definitely make sure I send out a couple of reminders for you to send me your questions. I want to have as many questions as possible already at hand when I am going to meet with you in 2 weeks so I can prepare myself a little bit about it. I bet it's going to help me with the theme that I'm going to be choosing to talk about. And I love to get your questions and simply be able to give you some ideas, give you some advice, give you some answers, give you some NLP perspective and what some of the principles of the law of attraction would say to whatever it is that you're wondering, okay? So I think I covered it all, you guys. Of course, there's so much more that we could talk about in regards to relationships and how the law of attraction fits into it. And I might dig a little bit deeper into it because there's a couple of things that I didn't talk about, and I want to make sure I mention that. So, lots to look forward to, you guys. Of course, practice, practice, practice. That's where the rubber hits the road. Take advantage of these 2 weeks. Practice the law of attraction as much as possible. Do meditations. Do things where you are imagining talking to people and you are in your highest space and you are in your place of love and you're in your place of divinity and universal connectedness. And then imagine what your response might be in those moments, how you can respond kindly, how you can respond compassionately, how you can respond in a way that somehow elevates the system and doesn't necessarily cut the other person down with sarcasm or, you showed me, now I'm going to show you kind of attitude, because that's, I think, collectively what we're growing out of. All right? Right on, my friends. Big hugs to everybody and have a wonderful time practicing the law of attraction. The world needs us, you guys. The world needs people to download as much happiness and love as possible so that together we can change the trajectory of our future. I'm a huge believer in that, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Thank you for being part of this journey, and you do it in your own way, because I know that whatever you're doing is exactly what you're meant to do. And with that, my friends, namaste, and I see you soon again. Be well.